When mixing music, one of our goals is to find the best interaction between the different instruments that are part of our mix. It is through the use of volume that we can create the sensation of proximity, and through the use of panning, we create the idea of positioning across the stereo field. But there will be a point on which we will find one instrument masquerading another, and the solution to that problem is through the use of EQ. And in this video, I will show you how I managed to push the sound of my bass forward by applying EQ to a different instrument. But before we go, if this is your first time on the channel, I welcome you, because in here I show you everything I do in order to create, write, produce, and of course, perform my music live. Because I know that making a living as a musician is not a dream, it's a possibility. And if I can do it, of course you can do it. With that being said, let's get into it. There is a particular build-up in a particular set of frequencies that are coming out of this particular track. Please pay attention to it. It's something that sounds like this. Is kind of that, okay? Listen to this. By its own, it's not a bad sound. The thing is that with the added sound of the kick drum and the bass, we get that issue. There is a build-up of frequencies. And if I remove the pad, the kick and the bass are badass. Listen to it. I almost feel the need of cleaning up my nose. I don't know, it might be me, but you get me, right? Okay, so let's fix it. Let's insert the next plugin. So there you got it. The new plugin in my collection, which is the Maag EQ Midside version.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that.
That's badass, right? I know that you don't know what that means. No, I know you do know.
Magnanimous.
I know that, yes, magnanimous, yeah. No, but actually, this is actually a badass idea, because the Maag EQ is such a fantastic, historical, yet musical EQ. The Maag EQ is a very good sounding equalizer that has the particular and super famous air band that has a very silky and beautiful top end that adds a little bit of air and detail to your sound. And it's usually used on vocals or as part of the stereo mixing bus. And this new plugin actually has the same but applied on an MS fashion, which is so good. Let's play around with it. We're going to be working with this bad boy, and first I'm going to be working on the L channel, which stands for the center, the mid, okay? Let me just make sure that this is set to mid-side. There it is now. MS or mid-side allows for, in very simple terms, separate the information contained on any stereo source into two channels. One channel will be controlling the stuff that happens in the center, the mono signal, and the other channel is going to be controlling the stereo signal, everything that happens on the side. This EQ will allow me to apply the Maag EQ, the equalizer, on the center or the sides independently. Here we go. Let's solo, just because we're going to F around, and hopefully we will find out. Here we go. Let me remove the link so we can actually work on this bad boy independently. There is. Let's play around with lows. That kind of works.
Yeah.
That kind of works. Let me explain to you how this thing works. You can see here that we got of course, the sound, the bands, including the famous air band that we're going to be using extensively today. But we also got this new array of sections, or nipples, if you wish. And when you tickle those, no, actually, those are switches, okay? And those switches, depending on the position, will select the frequency, the frequency which the band in question will be attacking, and you can change the shape of the frequency of the band just by switching but just by clicking on here, okay? And you can see that you got that level of control over the sub, the lows, the low mids, and the mids. leaving the highs to be by its own thing, and the high band, which is the air band, the most important section of this equalizer, to be worked on independently and actually switchable. I'm not going to be working with this air band on the mids because I'm going to be doing that on the sides. You'll see once we bring the rest of the mix back. Okay, now that we got this guy going, we're going to bring back the rest of the mix and we're going to be cutting to taste and prepare to be flabbergasted. Getting there, right?
Yeah.
Getting there. I'm gonna hit it again. I'm gonna now work on my mids. Let me check. I'm gonna change to a different frequency range. Yeah, I'm gonna be hitting the 900 hertz on the mids, and I'm gonna cut this to taste as well. On the mid area, the center information. Tiago, come on. It's working, right? Yeah, just like that.
No, but I can see what you're doing, and actually it's working quite nicely because since most of the build-up was happening with the sum of the bass, and the bass is in the center.
Yeah.
So by just cutting it there, you preserve some of the brightness, some of the cool texture that is giving, because it sounds cool.
Yeah.
But you only have the problem with the sum that's happening in the middle. So,
look at you,
yeah.
Andrew Schweppes. No, you're correct. No, you're correct. You're correct. That's exactly the whole point. And that's why I was so excited to use this mid-side version of the Maag EQ. I'm gonna now use the filter maybe just to cut out a little bit of the lows. I'm gonna have a super gentle slope because we already have some cuts on the budget. No, this is not Dragon Age. No, we already have some cuts on the low cut on the before hitting the compressor. But since we're working on a mid-side fashion, I'm going to open up even more a little bit the center region, the mono information contained in the sound, by applying a little bit of filter. I'm going to engage it. Here we go. How about that? Freaking good, right?
Yeah.
Now I feel that the since it's cutting correctly through the mix, I think we can add a little bit of extra volume out of it. I'm going to use the output trim because as you can see here, my fader is almost I'm losing headroom. Okay. If you're enjoying this kind of content, the best way to support this channel is by listening to music on Apple Music and Spotify, and also by following us on X and Instagram. And don't forget to ring the bell and subscribe to the channel. Let's continue. So I'm going to use the output trim here. I'm going to push it a little bit more, and then I'm going to use the fader to fit it into the mix. Here we go. It's beautiful. But wait.
Well.
There's more. We're gonna use the stereo width to make it wider. It comes with a stereo width expander. When working with any form of stereo widening tool, you gotta do it with the most conservative mindset possible. Because if you overdo it, you can, for example, ruin the mono compatibility of your mix. Let's do it! Let's do it again, just for sake of output compensation. Impressive.
Yeah, really good.
Very good. I'm gonna bring back the guitars now. Let's see. From the top, because I don't know about you, but I'm tired of listening to the same section. Excellent.
Pod racing.
Now this is pod racing.
It's pod racing, right?
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, I like it a lot. I actually think that this problem with the nose, as you referred to it, wasn't as much clouding the mix, but it was ugly.
It was ugly.
And
it was simply
ugly.
not a good sound.
Yeah, and it was ugly in a way that was drawing attention to the wrong things.
Exactly.
And now you enjoy the mix more because it's not there.
Yes. I'm not 100% happy with the sound of this pad yet. We're going to address it right now. But just to add a little bit to what Thiago just said, I hope you could understand. I was clear enough when I introduced the use of this particular circuit, because I used the MS for a particular reason. Thiago already mentioned it before, because it was by the use of the MS that I could just clean up the spaces on which the problems were happening rather than attacking the whole sound. As you can see, the use of EQs can go a little bit beyond just carving holes, because by using this MS approach, I managed to create a much more better sounding mix overall. I hope you enjoyed this, and I totally recommend you and encourage you to watch the whole process of me mixing this particular track, which will be linked in the description box underneath this video. As usual, girls and boys, if you like to support this kind of content, the best way to do it is by listening to music on Apple Music or Spotify and joining us on social media such as Instagram and X. And, of course, the only thing left to be said is you should never let anybody tell you what to dream about. And remember, I will see you when I see you.